Hello, everyone. I'm Ellie from Nourishment Redacted, and welcome to Lioness Lifestyle Live. This is a show where we usually honor a keto, carnivore, or meat-based woman. They share their experience, their healing journey to inspire and bring our community together. But we have a really special episode for you tonight.
Yes, we do, Ellie. I'm so excited. And I am Cristie from Meeting Wellness. It's so nice to meet with each and every one of you this evening. We have all been inspired by someone's story, and we believe that sharing these stories is one of the best ways to help people who are sick and without hope.
And I'm Adrian. I don't even know what to call myself anymore. Biggest Loser Carnivore, GOP, something or other. Thank you for joining us tonight. We want this to be a place where we lift each other up and show that healing through diet is possible. Don't get your questions ready. Get your refrigerators ready.
That's right. But now, before we get into our refrigerators, it's time for this week's Roar of the Week. And this one comes from Jennifer Colbert, and she said, "Thank you, Allison, for sharing your story. This way of eating heals so many medical conditions. I changed to this way of eating due to a recurrence of cancer. With immunotherapy and this way of eating, I am now 1 year cancer free. The other benefits were decreased joint pain and weight loss. I wish you the best, Allison, and hope your health continues on a positive path." So thank you so much, Jennifer, for being this week's Roar of the Week. If you want to be shouted out on next week's show, drop us a comment. Maybe it'll be about your refrigerator. I don't know. But whatever your comment is, we would love to read through those comments, and we will choose one to shout out on next week's show.
Okay, so this is usually where I would introduce a guest, but you are honored. No, I'm just kidding. We have the honor of being with you tonight, and so why don't you lead us with what this episode's about, Cristie?
Absolutely. So we thought that it would be a fun idea to talk about the Carnivore refrigerator. I know that probably before Carnivore, I have a refrigerator, but I didn't really have the extra freezer space that I have now in my garage, for one thing. And I ate a lot more out of the pantry. Now I feel like my pantry could just be probably mostly collecting dust bunnies because I really live out of my Carnivore refrigerator freezer a lot. And so we thought it would be a fun idea to talk about the Carnivore refrigerator, how we go about stocking that up. We even got some of you guys to send us pictures of your refrigerators. And so we have kind of a fun show planned for you tonight about that. So we want to talk a little bit about our philosophy for stocking our fridge. And I think that it's for me, it's a little bit different. So when it comes to me personally, because it's myself that eats carnivore and then my son. So I think it's a little bit different, right? So for me, it's a lot of times about convenience and simplicity. So I'm like, do I have something ready? I teach all day. I want to come home and have something convenient to grab that's quick. I don't want to be cooking for 2 hours after work. So those longer cooks, I definitely save for the weekends. But when it comes to my son, he likes a little bit more variety. Like I'd be happy having picanha every single night, like every night. He wouldn't be. He would get sick of it. And so for him, I have to sort of keep up a little bit more variety. But how about you, Adrian? What is your philosophy on stocking your fridge? Do you go for simplicity, convenience, variety, or something else?
Mine is incredibly simple. Eggs, beef, butter. There's actually, our fridge is kind of full because we do have some dairy. We have lots of cheese and pepperoni, some ham, but it's mostly eggs, some half and half, some butter. And most of our stuff is actually kept in the freezer. Are we allowed to talk about that? Is this the fridge freezer?
We'll get into it. How about you, Ellie? Are you more simplicity, convenience, or variety kind of girl?
Okay, so there's a little bit, I'd say, of all three of them. Definitely, the core is simplicity. I think when you take out all these food groups that aren't helping your health, you decide to take them out. Obviously, there's going to be less prepping. Like I'm not boiling potatoes and I'm not peeling them, and keeping all these snacks on hand like chips and all that stuff. But for me personally, I have little kids and they need the variety, kind of like how you were saying with your son. But most of the time, we are getting lamb, we're getting chuck roast, bacon, sausage, and ground beef are like the major foods because that's pretty much all my daughter will eat. And then we have, butter, cream cheese, and dairy and all that stuff. And then we'll have a few things every once in a while that kind of leans itself to ketovore, like pickles or mustard or something along those lines. The variety is usually like different types of sausages for my daughter, and I just feel like all of it is convenient because it's like you don't have to go to all the different aisles in the grocery store anymore. It's kind of like a 1 or 2 stop shop for the most part for me.
That's awesome. Well, I have some news that I know Ellie will appreciate. For Adrian, this will be brand new. If any of you have been watching the show for any length of time, you may remember that on old school Lioness episodes, we did a poll and we thought, let's bring that poll back. So I am not sure that I can remember how to use this, but I'm going to give it a shot, you guys. I'm going to put the poll up, and this will be kind of instead of our meaty wheel this week. So if you would like to answer our poll, we would love to have you do that. You can either go to menti, menti.com and use the code that you can see there, or you can scan the ginormous QR code down on the bottom of your screen. The question for this week's poll is, what is the most important item in your carnivore fridge? You just type that in and it's going to create this really cool Wordle looking thing with your answers. We will bring this up a couple more times during the episode to give people a chance to answer who haven't answered. But I'm going to leave this up here for another minute so you guys can have the chance to log into the poll and record your responses. I think it will also let you respond twice. So if you have 2 most important items, I think you can answer our poll a couple of times. And hopefully we'll get some responses. I don't know if it shows live if we're getting responses or not. So we need like the Jeopardy music. Do, do, do. Right?
No, we definitely need some kind of music. Let's play the theme song again. No.
Oh, look, it's starting to come in. They're coming in. So I see eggs. I see beef.
We'll definitely let that populate. I can't wait to see what is at the end and all the results. Man, this brings me back. Oh my gosh.
This is like old school. All right, I'm going to stop sharing this for now, but you guys can go ahead and keep entering your answers, and we will bring that up again a little later in the show. Sorry, I am multitasking over here. All right, so we want to talk a little bit about like our fridge setup and our favorite items. And so in my fridge, I have it set up where the things I'm going to use every day are up front and center. But one thing that's really changed in my carnivore fridge is kind of on my lower left shelf. That's where I have things unthawing. There's always something down there on that area unthawing. It might be picanha. It might be chuck roast. It might be ground beef. But one of those things is usually down there unthawing for, use within a day or 2. I have a whole shelf full of eggs. And recently, I don't know about you guys, but not only have the egg prices skyrocketed, but they're also hard to find. So like last week, I ordered 2 dozen eggs and I got no eggs in my grocery delivery. They didn't have any eggs. No. Fortunately, I still had eggs. I keep ordering them because I'm afraid that sometimes, there might not be any. So sure enough, they didn't have any eggs to give me, but I have a whole shelf that's kind of dedicated to eggs. I have my butter area, so that's always available. I always have a little bowl of pre-cooked breakfast sausage. I cook that up a pound at a time, and that's always available in my fridge. And when that pound runs out, I just cook up another pound. And that's mostly for my son. So he doesn't like bacon. Yeah, he doesn't like bacon, y'all. So every single morning for breakfast, he has eggs and sausage. And I'm a teacher and I'm getting ready for work. And so it's easiest for me just to have the sausage already cooked. Then I just throw it in the pan to warm it up, throw some eggs in there, scramble them up with a little butter. And it's just a very fast, it's like less than 5 minutes to get that to him for breakfast. So that is always in my fridge. As far as prepared foods, I don't have too many like pre-prepared things. That's the difference between eating carnivore and how I used to eat before. The only thing that I might have pre-prepared is like a bone broth, like from the store if I run out. Because lately I haven't like bought my ribeyes. They haven't been on sale the way they've been. And that's usually where I get bones to make my homemade bone broth. So I have been purchasing bone broth at the store. I don't like drink it then, but I do use it in cheeseburger soup. So recently my son had his braces like tightened and he couldn't like eat solid food for 2 days. And so he like he's like, hey, will you make me cheeseburger soup? Which I did. And he lived on that. So yeah, I had the pre-made bone broth, and that's like the only thing that's maybe in my pantry. My favorite cut of meat, you guys know, is picanha. And the last,
Cristie, you're really abusing the picanha banner today.
I know. Well, it needs to get a workout today, I feel. This is all about my carnivore fridge after all, and I'm a third of this team. So that picanha banner better be going at least a third of the show. That's my theory. Treat yourself items, unique splurges. The only thing I can think of on that is I do spend a lot of money on that Wagyu beef tallow. It's like pretty expensive for and you can make your own tallow, and you know, maybe it's unfair. I say I'm lazy, maybe I'm busy, but I'm for sure not making my own tallow. I know it's easy. I know it's cheaper and all of that. But I buy the big thing. It's from Amazon, Chicago Packing Company, Wagyu beef tallow. That's a pretty big splurge. That and my electrolytes, which I know Nia is on. I saw her in the comments earlier. I know she has a recipe super cheap to make your own electrolytes. Hi, Nia. I don't do that either. I buy those, and those are a little bit of a splurge for me. How about you, Adrian? How do you set up your fridge? What kind of things do you always have on hand?
You know, now I wish I would have taken a picture of my fridge instead of my freezer. Because that like I primarily keep the meat in the freezer because of my histamine issues. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's also where we keep the leftovers, because I didn't realize leftovers also build histamines. And I'm such a sensitive person that the only things that are staying in our fridge are pretty much eggs and dairy. Everything else is being rotated constantly. If a leftover is, and I used to be the queen of meal prep. I used to make tons of meals and then just like eat for the week and not cook. And now that I learned about histamines, even though I've been doing a lot of healing and I'm not as histamine sensitive at all, it's still in my brain now. I'm potentially adding to a histamine bucket. Now maybe my kids won't have any room in their histamine bucket for, you know, walking through the laundry aisle, or, you know, all the things that we're exposed to every day. Like, you're just agitating your immune system a little bit, but maybe it's making it more resilient too. I got more to dig in this histamine thing. So primarily we have like at least 6 dozen eggs in our refrigerator at all times. We also have, and this is something I'd kind of like to know, I'll keep like 6 boxes of butter. Is that pounds? Is each box a pound? 6 pounds of butter in my fridge at any given time. I feel like my bacon stays pretty good, but I tried it like once you open the bag, you got to like get going on it, or it's got to get frozen. So that's also moving. There has to be a spot in our refrigerator for a big, huge pot of coffee enema coffee.
What is that? Please explain.
Okay. When you're like one of these people that like suffers from a lot of health things, a coffee enema is one of the, let's say, biohacking type things to get your body to detox and to push things through, like literally push things through.
Oh, enema. Oh my God.
So at all times, there is a half of a shelf dedicated to my coffee enema coffee pot. You have to brew it a specific way. You have to use a specific coffee, and you have to keep it good. And yeah, so if I'm just going to be honest, like 1/8 of the fridge is my coffee pot. What else do I have in there? Lots of cheese. My kids love cheese, and I just cannot keep up with the cheese eating that's happening. We're not huge processed foods people, but if we do, one thing that's funny, you know, if you guys were carnivore before and not carnivore before, you were pretty standard before. So you maybe have a backlog of sauces that you don't touch anymore. Well, we've moved so many times since I became carnivore that those sauces got thrown away. And so we don't have that many sauces in our door. We do have like a whole shelf in our door of seltzer water, which is also sitting there because I don't actually like seltzer water that much. There is some stuff for my other family members. Like my husband still drinks pop. Yeah. So, and yogurt. We love yogurt. There's a big section of yogurt. So that's what we got going on. I forget what all the questions were because
No, that's pretty much it. There's in the document too, if that way you can kind of look through, because that's where I'm getting my information. I didn't memorize all this stuff, you guys. I'm just the facilitator.
do you want me to go on my favorite protein? Is that where we're at?
Yeah, that's where we are. So you said, but talking about your son eats cheese. Yeah, my son eats a lot more cheese than I do, especially for school lunches. It's just so easy to pack, you know? And then also when he does his pizza pockets, those use mozzarella cheese. So that's for sure something in the fridge. How about you, Ellie? How do you set up your fridge? What kind of proteins? Do you have any prepared foods, add-ons? And do you have any treat yourself items?
Yeah, sure. So let's go from the top to the bottom. At the very top, that's where I like to keep all the butter. I'm kind of like Adrian. I like to stock up on butter, and Costco is a one-stop shop for me for the most part. And so I'm buying those giant boxes of butter. It stays there until it's all gone. Then I buy more. There will also be a huge box of cream cheese. My daughter loves cream cheese, and that's really great if she's being particularly picky. I just throw a little bit more cream cheese on her. Helps her stay satiated. I can't talk today. Like every Tuesday, I feel like I can't talk. And then below that is kind of like the main. So when you're organizing something, the most important shelf that you have is what's at eye level, right? Because it's the most convenient. So that's where I will tend to have any leftovers that need to be eaten, or all of my eggs. I try to get at least 260 count of eggs because I eat like 5 or 6 eggs a day, and my son will eat 1 or 2, sometimes way more than that. Eggs, and then the little baby I watch also, his mom brings eggs also, so she has like a little separate container for him. And that's kind of where like the main meat will go, either a lamb leg or a picanha. Dang it, now I have to do a banner. A picanha will go there, or a chuck roast or something of that sort. And then we do have a dairy drawer. Some of my favorite cheeses to get is mozzarella. I love Asiago cheese. I love Parmesan and cheddar cheese for my son. And I make sure never to buy pre-shredded because they add all sorts of yucky stuff in there. So it's like, eh. So I definitely have, I use my cheese grater a lot. I have one that sits on the counter. It's like, and you could turn it, or you have just the manual one. And then in the bottom drawer is typically where I'll have lunch meat, like turkey slices, ham, and also if there's anything that needs to be thawed, like a fish or something like that. And on the door, it pretty much is just like whatever's open. Like, so if there's a butter stick that's open or a cream cheese packet that's open. I recently, because I'm trying to get my daughter to eat more meat. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? So I went to a grocery store and I found the G. Hughes sauce. I don't know if you guys remember that. They're like a low carb keto sauce. And so I picked up a honey mustard and a barbecue sauce one. Of course, she didn't like them. I'm like, oh, okay, now they're in my fridge. So, but pretty much I don't really use any seasonings. Sometimes I'll put a little Worcestershire sauce in something, but they don't even like that. So it's like, if they don't like it, I'm not going to get it for them. And every once in a while, there will be some kind of berry, or maybe I'll get them an apple or something. I try to do one fruit at a time because I don't want to overload them with a whole bunch of sugar. And there'll also be yogurt. And I think that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple, if I'm being honest.
That's awesome, Ellie. I love some of those things you mentioned. And yeah, Adrian said about the sour cream. We have sour cream in our carnivore fridge. So I forgot
about the fruit too. We have a whole fruit section.
Yeah.
Okay.
The kiddos.
Nia has a question here, and this was perfect timing, Nia. This was the next thing we're going to talk about, which has to do with like, do you guys do anything for budget? Do you check budget? Do you think about budget? Do you just buy what you want to eat? And so I have a lot of great things to say on this topic. And so when it comes to, let's say, ribeyes, I do love ribeyes, but I never buy them full price. So I'll use either the Flip app. You can just search ribeye and you put in like all your local grocery stores. It'll tell you if they're on sale. I haven't had ribeye in months. because it just hasn't been on sale. And oh well, probably in the summer, like when it's barbecue season, it'll go on sale again. When it comes to things like picanha, I don't care. Like I'm going to buy picanha on sale, not on sale. It used to be so much cheaper. It was like around $7 a pound. And now it's almost $10 a pound. And it has not slowed down my picanha consumption one bit because I just love it and I want to eat that. When it comes to other things, honestly, you heard me say grocery delivery, right? Yes, it would be cheaper to go to the store, but I like my Saturdays. I don't want to spend my Saturdays walking through, Walmart or wherever. Plus, I go to like a few different places. So Walmart actually is the place that has picanha. And I don't buy my other meat at Walmart because it has like additives in there. Like if you read Walmart ground beef, most of it says like beef and natural flavors. What the heck is that, Walmart? Stop it right now. So I don't buy my ground beef there. So I go to another store for ground beef, and then I go to a third store for like my heavy cream that doesn't have any icky like carrageenan and all that stuff in there. I have to go to like a health food store, which is Sprouts is the one where I live. And then Zach's little beef sausages are at Sprouts too. So it's like 3 different stores. And so honestly, I go online, I order what I need, and it's done. But the best thing that I have ever done to save money, and I think Ellie is going to bring up some pictures for me of this, is buying a half cow from my local farmer. That was the best thing I've ever done. Now, this meat right here, this is my kitchen table, and this was not a whole half cow. This was a third of a half of a cow, aka a sixth of a cow. Look at me doing elementary school math.
Math teacher extraordinaire.
That's it. So this is a sixth of a cow laid out on my kitchen table. This is everything that I got. And the reason I didn't do the half cow myself is because even with my garage freezer that I have, it's still too small to hold it. So if you pull up that other picture, Ellie, that meat basically, my freezer was almost empty. So as you can see there on the right, I had some other things, but like the sixth of a cow just fit right in my freezer almost to the top. So now I know my limit is that sixth of a cow. But the more of the cow you buy at once, the cheaper it is. And so I split that with my family. So my mom and my brother got the other part of that meat. We just split it. It was a little bit of a process, and it was a little bit, it was kind of a surprise. Each step of the process was a surprise the very first time I did it. Now that I've done it once, though, I kind of know what to expect. It did take, for my local farmer, it took a few months. And then we changed our order, so it made it be even longer. But you have to tell them what you want, and then they tell you how long the wait is. You put down a deposit at the time that you order it. For my local farmer, that was a $200 deposit up front. And then you wait until they get to you in line, and then they let you know, okay, the kill date is, they tell you when the kill date's going to be. Shortly after that, you get a call from the butcher. And then you tell the butcher all your preferences. Now, this butcher has been in business forever. A lot of people use this butcher, but nothing was online. I didn't even have a form in front of me. So Bruce is asking, what were the surprises? Bruce, I didn't have the form in front of me. So I literally have this guy on the phone. I think other butchers, probably do it differently. And he's asking me these questions, and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. And then I was asking questions back, so now I know how to answer. But you can try to get them to customize things. I asked them to leave the fat on the steaks, like to not trim the steaks. And they said they would do that. They trim those dang steaks anyway. So I think by the time the actual butcher was doing his thing, he was just doing it like he always does it, which is to trim all that fat off. The good news is I got all that fat in a big package. So I asked to keep all that fat, and they will let you do that. So I do have that. I still haven't cracked that open. Next time I will request, welcome back, Ellie. Next time I will request that extra fat trimming to be in smaller packages, because it's probably 5 pounds of fat. And I didn't even take it all. Another package of it went to my mom. And if you don't know, my mom is like meat-based keto. So she eats a ton of meat. She has those other fat trimmings. That beef, though, from that cow was less than $6 a pound. And so ground beef normally is like $5.95 a pound around here, unless it goes on sale. So it's like I paid regular ground beef prices. That ground beef from that cow was, other people even said this without me asking, but like my brother was like, that was some good ground beef. I'm like, I know, right? That was some good ground beef. The ground beef is actually gone, and I still have some carne asada left and a couple other things. So I mean, we went through, you get the majority of ground beef, but it was delicious, and we went through it. It's way better than any ground beef from the grocery store. And then that includes, the I forget, it was like a weird number, like 586 or something a pound. That was for picanha. That was for chuck roast. That was for ribeye steak. That was for T-bones, right? That was for everything in there. I said it again. That's right. And how many times? You're going to play the game. How many times is Cristie going to say picanha?
I love it. I love it. It makes me happy. Oh my gosh.
Then you have to pick up your meat from the butcher, and then at that time you pay the butcher. Oh, you also pay when they process the cow, when they've dispatched your cow, then you finish paying off the farmer. So it's like 2 separate payments to the farmer and then a separate payment to the butcher. So you're just like shelling out money to everyone. Now it is like you have to have a big hunk of money, right then and there, because I forget the exact, I did make a video about it on my channel. It was like right around $1,500 to $1,800, I think, for half the cow after everything. But it was like, the thing is you don't know exactly how much it's going to be, because they charge you per pound live weight, and every cow weighs different. So you can't get an exact price. It's just like they do it, and then like, okay, here's how much it costs once they've weighed everything. So it might be a little different next time. I'm hoping we can order a whole cow next time. My mom did get a giant freezer at her house, so we have room in there that my brother and I can keep some of our meat there, and it should be even cheaper. So that is my best tip, because I feel like the meat was like way higher quality, especially the ground beef. You can customize stuff, although they might not listen to you, but it was for sure much, much cheaper. The ground beef was equivalent to what I pay, and then everything else was obviously way cheaper than it normally is. So that's my best budget tip, and I'm about ready to order some more beef from them. How about you, Adrian? Do you have any good budget tips for people?
Okay, so first I have a lot to say. I have so much to say. Bruce said, does Adrian and Ellie have a banner? And I do, and we'll whip it out here in a second when I go into my thing. Okay, so we also purchased a cow. And this is our cow from 2 years ago, which we just found. So, because it's in a home that we're renovating. So we get to eat this now. And yeah, it's 2 years old, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I zoomed in on that picture, and I paid $4.35 per pound of hanging weight. But, you don't eat the hanging weight. Now, this year we also ordered the cow. I don't know what we paid because I wasn't in charge of it. It was a little bit more. The feed went up, but we don't have to go through all of what you just said at all. Our friend makes it, and they grow the cow, and they do it so that they can turn their beautiful cabin on 200 acres into a farm, so that you don't have to pay like millions of dollars in tax. And so they grow cows and they grow corn. And they're just very cool people. They're like the coolest people we ever met. And we got married at this farm cabin where our cow came from. So what I do, honestly, is I order from Walmart like everything, and then they deliver it to my door. I looked at our local store, and unfortunately the prices are almost double. And I want to support local, especially after what we experienced in 2020. I really want to. But as a family of 6, I just cannot afford to pay double. I just can't. I mean, and not everything is double, but everything is like 50 to 70% more expensive at our local stores. I don't even know how they're open. Like, who's spending this money? I don't know. We do like to go to Costco, but that requires driving and taking little kids into a store. So that's not something we always do. I like to bulk buy. Now, I like another thing that we do is, and this isn't necessarily cheaper, is my husband went to Alaska and went on a fishing trip. So here we have, this is all the fish. He brought home like hundreds of pounds of fish. So if you break down his flight and his whatever he paid the charter guy, I think it was probably actually cheaper than buying fish from the store, because the store fish is expensive to buy salmon, so expensive. So that's how we stock up on meat. I want to bring something up, because just so we can get our banner. ready, Ellie, for the tinfoil hat banner. I wanted to show, this is what I previously did, like during the 2020 era, and this is what I was stocking up, and this was our pantry. And please, you guys are going to be terrified. You're going to be terrified, and you're going to unfollow me, okay? But it was scary during 2020. So we converted a bedroom into a pantry. And I mean, I was looking at all this just like disgusted. Like, look at all those noodles. And there was cereal and Velveeta and canned foods. And I looked at all that as we were like moving our pantry to this bedroom. And I was thinking, I don't really want my kids eating any of this. But this is like what everybody was stocking up on. And so I went, every time I would order groceries, I would just order extra. And then like I'd order an extra case of green beans, like a whole case. Like we were like Sam's Club ordering the extra case, you know, and then I'd put it in there. And the green beans are fine. But the rest of it, I'm looking at going, do I really want to feed all my kids all these noodles? And so that's when we started getting the freezers. And that's when we invested in an extra freezer, like a huge freezer. And that's when we also invested in a freeze dryer. Do you guys know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, Ellie. It's like a dehydrator, except better because it removes all moisture from your food somehow by freezing it and drying it at the same time. I don't get it, but and so basically now we have bins, like a lot of those bins have like been emptied out of the processed foods and we filled it with freeze-dried food so we can go hiking and camping for like the rest of our lives, or if a zombie apocalypse comes, tinfoil hat, I guess we're ready.
You were so ready. I love that. Oh my gosh. You're speaking my language, girl. No.
All right, Ellie, did you say your budget tips? I don't think you did yet, but I know
Please
you're big
tell
on
us. And can you tell us the type, if you feel comfortable, because I think it's really relatable. People will say, I can't do carnivore because I'm low income. I'm not saying you're low income, but could you tell us, you know, about yourself if you feel comfortable and what your budget's like?
You know what? I used to kind of tiptoe around this. I'm like, is it like the right thing to say? But you guys always encourage me to be honest. And so, okay, so we are a lower income family. You know, it's just my husband that works and I'm a stay-at-home mom. What a blessing that is. And we have EBT. We get about which is really sad. We don't get that much, but we get about $400 a month for a family of 4. And so we really do try to stick to that. And maybe we'll go like 100 or 200 more, depending on if we really need stuff, you know, and it's been really, really beneficial to us because it's made, you know, it's just made it easier for us. So we have EBT, not afraid to say it anymore. And we go to Costco. Costco is like almost our one-stop shop. I might go to Publix to buy a few things here and there that are not necessarily carnivore. Like I said, like a mustard or maybe some specialty pickles or something like that. But I just really enjoy the Costco aspect. We actually make it a family outing, and it is something that we do together. And so I want to share a little short that I made a while back, and we get my kids into it. And then I show, so you'll see what's in our cart, and then you'll see how much we spent that time. So play the video. So yeah, my kids, they work really hard to get all of the things on there. And so we're definitely taking advantage of the sausages for my daughter, cream cheese, ground beef. We will buy just, you know, the pre-made chicken broth. And then sometimes there'll be a mushroom or a fruit. And so this is typically what we'll buy. And that was $182. And we have some lamb legs, and we keep it really, really simple. And so, as you can see, my little helpers, I love that video because they're so cute and they always want to, like, they just want to help. So
I love the music.
Yeah, it's fun. It has a little bit of a retro feel to it, which I appreciate.
That felt like a lot for 182.
Yeah.
So Nia's never been to Costco, and I can count on one hand the number of times I've been to Costco.
But the thing is though, she lives in Texas, and there's like 15,000 Costco's there.
HEB is way better than.
Really?
I think HEB is way better than Costco.
Oh, that's good to know. I've never been there.
Do you guys have those in Florida, or is that just a
No.
Texas thing? I think that's a Texas thing.
I think so too, but it's like if you look at the map of how many Costco's are in Texas, it's just funny. There's like 10 of them in Texas, or 15 or 20 of them. I don't know. There's just, they also have the have you ever been to the commercial Costco's? The industrial
I'm in a small town.
Yeah, I don't have those
I heard about those.
Sounds fun. So I was supposed to talk about budget saving tips. We just try to buy the same things every time. And if we know we need it, like butter or cream cheese or cottage cheese or anything like that, we definitely stock up on it. Yeah, I just try to do the best you can. You know, if you keep it.
I know at one point you were driving, but then you got like food poisoning for some meat. I remember that back when we first met. Like you were driving far and you bought this big thing of something and you guys all got sick from it. This was like when we first met. It was a while back.
Oh my gosh.
I vaguely remember this story for some reason.
It was like meat from some other country, and then you're like, I'm never gonna get meat from there again.
Oh my god, that's right. Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's been driven like 2 hours, which is why you didn't return it.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Like you unlocked memories that I completely forgot about. So
we blacked out.
Yes, seriously. We didn't always used to go to Costco. We used to go to a restaurant depot, and that's how we would save our. Thank you, Cristie. Oh my gosh,
I forgot we did that. Depot. Yeah, restaurant.
We used to go to so we would drive an hour to Tampa, and we would go and we would buy it there. And oh man, I wish I had prepared it. But also my son's shirtless in it, so maybe we're not. But we would buy this giant box of ground beef, and it would have 8 long tubes, and it would be like $50 for 8 huge tubes. And I would take the time to do my best to freeze all of them and package them up in Ziploc bags. I do have a video on my channel of me trying to break down 40 pounds of chicken quarters and breaking up the thigh and the leg. I'm not a good butcher, but that was definitely huge money savings. We have not been there in so long. We need to go back. Oh my God.
She's gotten over her food poisoning because she wants to go back. You guys got sick off of something you got from
Yes, we bought a huge, a ribeye roast, and it was from South America. And, I'm not trying to throw shade, but guys, that made us sick. Oh my God. So bad. So if you can buy American grown, I think it would be better off. Obviously support your local farmers. I've been thinking about buying a cow now that you guys are sharing with us. So that was a hot tip.
You just have to have a big chunk of money up front, but then you don't spend anything for months and months and months. It's great.
That's true. The only thing I'd be concerned about is storage, because I definitely don't have a deep freezer. So that's something to consider. But thanks for unlocking that memory that I totally threw away in the back of the recesses of my mind.
You're welcome.
I thought of 2 tips. Okay, so tip number 1 is keep it simple. If you're adding a ton of ingredients, it is going to be expensive. And then I used to buy all these sauces and spices and special things for my keto recipes. And now I just cook meat and I throw some salt on it. I just buy 1 bag of salt from the bigger bag from Redmond's. I swear I've ordered it twice in the 2 years. So once a year I buy a big bag of salt. So that's my first thing, is keep it simple. The other day I made, and this was Carnivore actually, it was a Parmesan type of sauce, which had Parmesan cheese and heavy cream, butter. I did put some garlic in there, and I'm missing something. And then you put chicken in it. And when I added up all the ingredients, it was $60 but it did make multiple meals for 6 people. So maybe it was $20 a meal, but it still seemed like a lot when we could have just eaten the chicken with some butter and just keeping it simple. And yeah, we would have bought more chicken probably, but maybe not. We still ate a lot of chicken. So that's my number 1 thing, is keep it simple. Number 2, I don't know if everybody has things like this, but in Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, we have something called Ruby's Pantry, which when you hear pantry, you go, not for me. But this isn't a government thing. It's not an income thing. And what happens is corporations donate food that they don't end up selling, like restaurants. And what they do is they take it and they freeze it immediately. It used to be a lot of junky processed foods, but now it's turning out to be a lot of ingredients from restaurants where they freeze it and then they bring it around. You donate $25, which helps cover the gas. Everybody who does it volunteers. It is not an income thing. And you can get a box or two of food, and it's like Whole Foods for $25. So if you live in those 3 states, they have this. And I've got to think that they've got to have something similar around the country in other areas where these corporations are donating this food because it was getting closer to the expiration and they froze it and I don't know. That's just my thought. That's something our family used to do a lot. Now we live in a camper essentially. So
I know my mom has access, like for senior citizens, I don't even know exactly what it is, but it's something similar like that, where you spend a little amount of money and then you get some bags of groceries. I don't know what's in there. I don't, it's like in San Diego County, which is not where I live. I don't even know how to access it. I know my mom used to do it, so it sounds kind of similar.
Food share programs.
Yeah,
local food share, which is not they call it a pantry, which makes people probably go, I don't want to go there because I want to save that for people who need it. But the thing is that this program, the more people who use it, the more donations they get, the bigger the program gets, the more people can get affordable food. So it's actually a good thing for everybody to go. I know that sounds weird.
That's
anyway.
Cool. Interesting to look that up. Ellie, we are ready for your segment. Ellie's real good at clicking buttons. She probably won't even end the stream by accident. Sorry.
So messed up.
Time. But no, Ellie is like, she's really good at this. And so Ellie is going to show us, you guys, we put out there a couple weeks ago, send us your fridge pictures or your grocery haul pictures. And several of you did. And so we would like to shout those out now. So take it away, Ellie.
Absolutely. So first we have Nia, and she gave me a link to one of her shorts where she shows her grocery haul, and she has a pretty special message to share with it too. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pop that up, and we'll just hang out and watch it for a little bit.
Is not being selfish. It's the understanding that when you consciously connect with your own joy, purpose, and inner peace, you are cultivating your best self and bringing that into the world for others in your life to experience. Just doing this yourself will inspire those around you to do the same. If you believe in your ability to succeed, then your actions will align with that belief. In the same way that if you constantly think about failure or slipping up, you will experience those results. So by focusing on the things that make you feel your best, your healthiest, your most joyful, and giving much less weight to the opinions of others, you are creating a sustainable and compounding stream of motivation that is genuine.
Wasn't that beautiful?
That was the most beautiful carnivore refrigerator I've ever seen in my life. Was that real, Nia? Is that what it really looks like?
Yep, that's what it really looks like. So these are the pictures that she submitted to me today. I really
He's got
appreciate
the
her
coffee
doing
pot too. I'm just kidding.
Man, sometimes you get lazy and you make a whole bunch of soup and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna stick the whole pot in there. Relatable. No, but this is a beautiful pantry. I know her daughter drinks a lot of milk, just like my kid. So milk is definitely there. Bacon, sausage, and I love brie too. Ooh, we should eat brie together. Okay. So that was Nia's. Thank you so much for submitting that. And then next we have Erin, also known as Booby Goats. Thank you, Erin, this is her grocery haul. And she writes to us, I always shop Sunday morning for the ultimate meat discounts for the week. This haul only cost me $120. Peace, love, and chicken grease, Erin. So I definitely want to say thank you, Erin, for sharing that with us. Definitely taking advantage of those savings is so, so important. So everyone, make sure anyone we're shouting out here, feel free to follow them, subscribe to them, and support them because they love our show and we want to send that love right back. Okay, and then this is from Lisa Marie. Lisa Marie was actually a Lioness guest on our show. So feel free to check out that episode too, where she talks about how she has an inoperable brain tumor, and her story is just so inspiring. She's so kind, and she actually wants to start up her own channel soon, which I will show you with her handle here. So this is her, and she wrote, this is my fridge and freezer. I also have freezers fully stocked in my garage. I buy meat from my farmer, who is 5 minutes away, so we are always stocked. Feel free to use these photos and let me know if you have any questions. And she says, my animals are fed with this food too. We usually do an order with our farmer 1 or 2 times a month, and it costs about $1,200. Remember, she's Canadian, so convert that. But we do have a lot of backup, as you never know these days. So that's her handle there, and she does want to start up her YouTube channel very soon. So everyone go check her out. And thanks for sending that picture. And then I believe, yep, this is our last one. This is from Carnivore Dan. Doesn't this look so nice? And he labeled it for us and everything. Thanks, Dan. He says, I'm low on money for a grocery haul currently, but I'm sending my current fridge and freezer contents minus the water and 0 sugar soda. So thanks so much for sending that, Dan. I love how organized it is. Wow. You guys are way cooler than I am. So that was all of the photos that we had. Thanks so much for sharing those. We love interacting with you guys, either in the live stream or in the replay. And so next time we do it, let us know if you like these kind of episodes where we showcase your photos and your comments and your experiences. We definitely want to interact with you guys more, so let us know.
So Karen, talking about interacting with you guys, Karen said this, and I was like, yes, Karen, you're so right. My vegetable drawers, there's no vegetables in there. There used to be full of vegetables. No vegetables there now. My eggs aren't in there, and my butter's not in there, but like the cheese for my kiddos is in there. Sausage is in there. I'm trying to think what else like if I do have any ketovore stuff, so occasional avocado is in there. That's a fruit, not a vegetable. And then my husband still eats like lettuce in his taco bowls. He doesn't eat tortillas anymore, but he'll put lettuce in the taco bowl. So there might be that's a vegetable, goes in there, but it's no longer full of like zucchini and spinach and all that other stuff. Used to be full of cheese. Yeah, it's just full of different cheeses and sausages, bacon. Oh yeah, bacon goes in there. So that's what's in my vegetable drawer these days. How about you, ladies? Same cheese and that kind of stuff?
Cheese and processed meat.
Same.
And butter. And peptides.
Nia says her vegetable drawers are now the pork drawer and the beef drawer. I hope you labeled them, Nia. Pork, beef. I love it. Okay. Before we move on to our next segment, if you weren't here earlier in the show, we put up a poll. So I am going to put that poll back up if you have not had the chance to participate in that poll yet. So far, we've only gotten 4 responses. It looks like eggs. 2 people put eggs. That's why it's bigger. So we have beef, eggs, and heavy cream. If you want to add to this, the question is, what is the most important item in your carnivore fridge? You're just going to go to menti.com and use the code there on the screen, or use your camera or your phone camera, and use that QR code and go ahead and respond to our poll. I would love to hear. Nobody said picanha. You're making me sad. So this poll and let us know what are the most important items in your carnivore fridge. We'd love to hear from some more of you. Now I need the Jeopardy song. Who's going to sing it this time?
Na, 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 na.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, look, lamb. Oh, lamb came in, you guys. Lamb, beef, eggs, heavy cream so far.
I wonder who wrote that.
It was just a little slow. I think that's butter over there behind the QR code, and bacon. Heck yeah.
Oh, one thing that I totally forgot to mention is pork rinds. I use pork rinds and I blend them up and I use them like breadcrumbs or a flour substitute all the time, like all the time. So I'd say like pork panko is definitely it's not a fridge, obviously, but it's a shelf stable ingredient that I use in my cooking. I love Courtney Luna's cookbook. Oh my God, go get it if you haven't already. Carnivore in the Kitchen. I use it like almost every day. for sure.
Yeah, I haven't used that recently, but when my son was newer to carnivore, that was definitely something I would use every day too, because it's good it's good as a binder too, like in meatloaf or meatballs or things like that. It binds, and then it's good as like a coating if you're going to make some carnivore chicken nuggets or things like that. It works as a breading. So, but I don't grind them up myself. I just buy them already. The ones from Porking Good are the ones I like because they do have flavored ones and they're pretty clean. Like it's just usually the pork rinds fried in their own fat, and then like whatever seasoning, like the ranch ones is what my son likes. And there's not a lot of additives in there, which is one of the reasons I like those. And it's easy. Like I said, I'm kind of lazy/busy, whatever way you want to spin that.
You're not lazy. You're a very accomplished woman, and sometimes you just don't feel like blending your own pork rinds.
That's
Do you
right.
remember that one video I made where I had to blend the pork rinds outside because I was gonna wake
I
up.
do. You took them out on the patio. It was great.
I think another way to save money is to save your drippings. They are flavor. And then if you save your fat drippings, that's what I cook with. Like sometimes I'll cook a steak in the Tasty air fryer and I will just pour those drippings right into a pan. That's what I cook my eggs in.
Awesome. So our next segment that we're going to do is rapid fire fridge favorites. And so there's 3 rapid fire questions here. We would love if you guys answer these in the chat, but we will definitely go around and each answer them. We're each going to take a turn asking a question. I'm saying that so you ladies can get to that in our little document so you can see where it is. But I will ask the first one. They are labeled, Adrian. Which
Number
one
5.
you're supposed to ask. It's number 5, and if you aren't there, it's okay. We'll do it. But the first question that we're all going to answer is, what's the one thing you always have? Oh my gosh, I could say so many things, but I got to say picanha. And I'm only allowed to say one in this rapid fire. Picanha. I'm going to go with it.
Eggs.
Butter.
Okay. Ellie? Butter. Okay, put it in the chat, you guys. What is one thing that you always have? We have picanha, eggs, and butter from the 3 lionesses. Adrian, the next question is?
What's the quickest meal you can make from, hold on, I got to scroll. Oh, shoot. From your fridge.
Ooh, the quickest thing from your fridge. Adrian, go ahead and answer first.
Eggs.
Bacon.
So I was going to say scrambled eggs. That is for sure the quickest thing.
How about,
I have to
honestly, the quickest is to just grab a cheese block and...
Yeah, otherwise like charcuterie, right? Carnivore charcuterie, just like chop up, sausage, cheese, eat it, done in the face.
Just grab the cottage cheese and start dumping it in your mouth.
Show's almost over. We're getting silly now. How about you, Ellie? Quickest thing you can make?
Oh my gosh, I feel like eggs are definitely the fastest, but I make bacon every single day, so bacon.
Okay, I'm going to start putting up. I think these are in answer to the question, the one thing you always have. Josephine has salt. Me too. I always have salt too.
Mm-hmm.
Karen always has bacon. Barb with the eggs. Yes, that's a good one. Nia, chicken thighs. I don't always have them, but I do have them quite a bit. Bruce has eggs. Bruce, that's 2 things. Bruce had to get 2 things in there. All right, Bruce, we'll allow it. Fee says pork belly. The eggs coming in again. Maybe that was the quickest thing. Bruce, I think this is the quickest thing they can cook. Soft boiled eggs.
Sure.
Bacon. And Mia says eggs or ham. And bite butter. Butter bite. Yes. Bite. That is pretty quick. You just take the butter out and bite it. It's delicious.
Actually,
I did that today.
quickest is to just grab the shrimp.
Ooh, a shrimp cocktail. Yum.
I do have shrimp right here.
But eggs and bacon is one thing. So I said we'll allow it. We'll allow it.
You need the grease from the bacon to cook the eggs.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true. Okay, so
last question. Last rapid fire.
What is the one item you never let run out? And so I would have to say pork rinds because I literally use it every single day. I have to have it. And if I don't have it, I'm scrambling. Not eggs, but just my brain.
And I'm not going to go with the meat. I'm going to go with butter because that's pretty much the thing that I cook in. If I do need a fat to cook in, butter is like my go-to. So it would be very sad if I ran out.
What is that?
I don't know.
Your clone.
Your clone.
Eggs. Obviously, I'm obsessed with eggs. We make at least
eggs.
a dozen eggs every day. If the whole family eats, it's like 2 dozen eggs.
Yeah, totally. Bruce says that he could not run out of heavy cream, and Josephine cannot run out of beef. That is very not
That's my
specific,
number
Josephine, and I love it. I can't run out of beef either. Fee's with me. Fee says butter, and Barb is with you, Adrian. Eggs. Can't run out of those.
Eggs.
An egg is a perfect food. I mean, it does everything for you. So I don't. What is the word? Oh gosh, I'm blanking. Move on.
Nia says can't run out of eggs here either. Nature's vitamin. Agreed, Nia. There's so much nutrition in there. That reminds me because of the way you phrased that. So I was recently at my doctor, my new doctor, the carnivore friendly doctor. And it was funny because, you know, you wait a lot when you're at a doctor. So I'm sitting there in the exam room and she's got this poster on the wall. And it says like all the vitamin whatever, like all the vitamins are listed. And then it's like the foods that contain those vitamins, right? And I was looking down and there was a carnivore food in every single one of those things. And so I came in because of course there's vegetables there, you know, and stuff too. I was ignoring those. There was eggs, there was butter, there was beef, there was chicken, like it was carnivore foods on every single one. And so I pointed that out to her. And then she said, yeah, that poster's not like perfect, but she said, I prefer it to all the drug posters. Like, you know, the medicines, like for the different pharmaceuticals. I was like, yes, this is a doctor I can get behind. She's like, rather than put up advertisements for big pharma, I'm going to put up this thing that talks about the vitamins in your food. I was like, that's absolutely.
I think that's a tinfoil hat banner moment.
Thank you. I almost said put it up there.
What the heck is that? It's back. Oh, it's me.
It's you, Adrian. It's your clone from earlier. It's fine. Josephine says, my brain needs beef fat. I go to the butcher's and get a big bag of beef fat trimming. So Josephine, I will let you know when I finally do open mine. I'll tell you this much. Get that picanha banner ready, Ellie. When I eat my picanha and it has that half an inch of fat on top, I like just the meat part of it. That's fine. But when I eat that fat part, it's like something lights up in my brain. I'm like, oh yeah, I get all happy. I try to put like a little meat and like mostly fat on those bites, you know, because it's just so delicious. That's how I know I'm gonna love those beef fat trimmings that I haven't busted into today. So Bruce, thank you so much. Bruce is saying, what a fun show today. Josephine, it is a good show. Thank you. Like Ellie said earlier, we would love to hear your comments on this format of a show. We thought we would consider, if you guys enjoyed this, to throw this format in, you know, every once in a while, although we do love our lioness guests that we interview each week. We got a couple more. So yeah, this was a cool format. Ellie, Bruce would like to know, what is your banner? Because you don't, she's like, maybe I missed it, but I don't think Ellie has her own banner. So we'll work on that.
The reason why I don't have a banner is because I have to push all the banners. So if I'm saying a banner, I'm too busy pushing
Ellie is the button pusher. She brings up those banners. So she doesn't get her own. Well, I'll think of one. I'll get you one.
A single tier.
Adrian, I think it's just about at the hour and we are ready to roar.
Hold on.
I'm going to push all your buttons.
I don't know why it's not a ticker, but we'll go with that.
Thank you.
Hey, and I didn't shut the live stream down while hitting a button.
Look at that. Go, Adrian.
You're welcome. This is brain healing right here. Combining all of the tools in the toolbox, brain healing. Okay. All right. We're still going to roar, or should we moo since we talked about beef so much tonight? I'm just kidding.
We only accept feline noises around here. That can be a roar. Maybe a meow or a mew is fine.
All right, everybody, get your roars ready. Put them in the comments. Isn't that your line? Or is that mine? Anyway. All right. 3, 2, 1. Roar!
I did a meow. Oh, I'm so glad you guys like the paintings.
I love my painting. I love it so much.
We should almost film something special in a couple of days.
Oh, yeah. That would be fun.
I get to meet Ellie again in person, and I don't know why Cristie's not coming. She has to work or something.
Look at all these roars in the comments, you guys.
Oh, shoot. Am I supposed to be hitting
buttons? I love Eric. Eric, that is awesome.
Lord have mercy.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm going to watch the replay and I'm going to count how many times I got that picanha banner on the screen.
I'm so proud of you.
I think it was a record.
My finger's so sore from pushing all those buttons.
Right. That is right.
Good job, Ellie.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. From all of us here at Lioness Lifestyle Live, especially from Ellie, our button pusher. She is the official button pusher. Thank you very much. We want to thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Please come back next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, also known as 8 p.m. Eastern, where we will actually have a guest next week. If they don't cancel, back out, not show up, fill in the blank. But I think that we have someone scheduled for you, and we are looking forward to hearing their story and sharing it with you. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Love you.